Part 3. Ningabian, West. In the western direction, the journey focuses on the ripened berries and the harvest, a time of constant change. Chapter 45. I love camping. The smoky scent fills the air and burrows into fabric, hair, and skin. Hold on. It's camping, but mixed with stale air, a closed-up, musty space. My head throbs with my heartbeats. More smells, musky sweat and a nearby piss pot. I strain to open one eyelid, like breaking the crusty bond of a meningue eye. Thin rectangles of orange light come from a wood stove across a small room. The light flickers, casting faint orange stripes against the walls and curved ribs. I blink both eyes in slow motion, trying to focus on my surroundings. It's an old aluminum trailer with a rounded ceiling and only one window, the kind people use as powwow food vendor trucks. Art calls them canned hams. I lift my head, or try to. The trailer spins like a centrifuge. Donis. I jerk my head at the sound of Jamie's voice. He sounds like he caught a cold, but it's my head that feels foggy. He repeats my name. Each one pulses inside my skull. Donis. 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 My groans form a word. Stop. Are you okay? What did they do to you? Jamie's breath is sour. He tries wrapping me in his arms, but something about being held makes my heart race. Don't. I push him away. Your breath reeks. We're kidnapped, in a trailer somewhere, but my bad breath is what's bothering you? Even Jamie's soft laughter has a stuffed-up nasal tone. Kidnap. Trailer. I pop up. Ow, I say, vision blurring from the fireworks in my head. Once it clears, I look around the trailer, which is gutted inside. Just a wood stove, a card table, some metal folding chairs, and the squeaky bed I'm in. How long have I been here? Why are you here too? The guys came by last night as I parked in my driveway. I thought Levi found out you punched me and he wanted to kick my ass for whatever I did to deserve it. The memory of my fist smashing his nose catches up with me, followed by why I did it. There's just enough light from the wood stove to see the raccoon-like bruising around Jamie's eyes, 2 black eyes from a broken nose. I did deserve it, Donis. Ron shouldn't have been the only one getting you up to speed on that first drive to Marquette. You had a right to know, before you agreed to pose as my girlfriend, that I was the one who had the idea of us posing as a couple. But I swear that was before I got to know you, when you were just a person in a case file, and I thought taking the initiative might help my career. It takes more effort than my groggy synapses can handle to fully process his words. Jamie takes my silence as his cue to keep talking. Levi dropped by, but he seemed happy, not mad. He invited me to Mike's party and then asked about my nose. I was thinking of an explanation when Mike tasered me. They must have stuck a needle or something in me because I woke up here this morning. He glances at his watch. It's just after 8 p.m. You've been here 6 hours. Wisps of memories come back. T, Harry, Dana. She drugged me with something. It must have been that date rape drug. The name swims through the cloudiness. Rohypnol. Did Dana say anything when she brought me here? My voice shakes as rage breaks through the roofy haze. Levi's mom is involved? Jamie is taken aback. Donis, a guy in a snowmobile helmet that covered his face carried you over his shoulder. He dumped you inside the door before tasering me. I couldn't move. That's when he shackled your leg to the bed frame. Shackled? I move each leg. There's a heavy clanking with my left one. Dana didn't bring me here? Then who else is part of this? Jamie's still talking. It takes effort to focus on his story. Removed the taser barbs and threw a log in the wood stove, 5 minutes tops. Memories form, unless I'm creating mental images to fit a story. What did you do to her? Answer me, you... Jamie's voice from a foggy dream. I was on the floor and you swore at someone? Good, you remember, Jamie says. It was right before he tasered me. Was it Grant Edwards? My eyes dart around the trailer before I scramble to look under the bed. Upside down, my head feels like someone is using it as a drum. I never saw his eyes, but he was the right size, I suppose. I flinch at Jamie's hand on my arm as I return to a sitting position. Hey, you're okay. No one's here, Donis. There's a seed of disquiet in his voice. Avoiding Jamie's probing gaze, I focus on the distorted memories coming back to me. I was in a truck with Dana. The ferry horn sounded overhead. She laughed when I asked for Seema to make an offering. A shiver runs through me. I meet Jamie's eyes. My mom will call my aunt. They'll look for me and contact the police. When they try reaching you, Ron will tell them you're missing too, and that he's been looking for you. He is? You talked to him? Why isn't he here with backup? Jamie eyeballs the door, expecting Ron to bust in. He texted this afternoon and asked if I had any contact with you since last night. That can't be. Jamie looks confused. Ron should be getting a tracking signal from my watch. He holds up his wrist. Really? I say, impressed that his watch is a James Bond gadget. Yeah, through satellites. My location coordinates are relayed to the FBI. Satellites. I hold up my hand to silence him. Assess the problem. We're trapped inside a trailer on Sugar Island. The rusty bed frame creaks when I rise. A wave of nausea and more centrifuge pile onto my headache. Jamie is at my side in an instant with steady arms. He held me like this on the dance floor, leading while protecting my shoulder. It was just last night. How is that possible? A lifetime of bad things have happened since then. Thanks. I break away. The heavy chain is a tether. I get as far as the card table in front of the window. Are you... Shh. I interrupt. I'm listening. We stand absolutely still, listening for any sounds beyond the window. Gentle waves lap a nearby shore. What do you hear, Jamie? Uncle David taught me to avoid leading questions. Otherwise, you steer the responses to what you hope to hear. Waves, he confirms. I've heard them since I woke up. What can you tell me about the wave pattern? It feels good to think like a scientist. They're just small waves, Donis. If we're on the west shore, any freighters passing by will generate a... My mind goes blank on what it's called when those ripples hit the shore. I hate this brain fog. A Kelvin wake? Jamie offers. Like Friday night at the breakwall? Yes, like that, I say. The bigger the ship, the bigger the wake. Did you hear any change in the waves? Depending on freighter traffic, it could take hours for a ship to go past. Why does it matter which side? His voice trails off. I witness the awful moment when the answer gut punches Jamie. Cliffs and caves. His voice is a sinking anchor in the deepest part of Lake Superior. You said the east side of Sugar Island is all cliffs and caves. You can't get any cell phone signals except near the ferry or the north end. Satellites can't pick up GPS signals through stone, cement, or water. The despondent look in his eyes leaves me completely rattled. He's a grown adult, 22 years old, a cop. Yet somehow, I am the less terrified person in this trailer, the one who will say out loud what we both need to hear. The FBI doesn't know where we are, Jamie. They think you're dead in the water, like Heather. Ron's not coming. Chapter 46. In the disheartened silence that follows, we hear voices approaching the trailer. Bet you $100 someone budges this week. I recognize Mike's voice. Players or owners? Levi asks. They're talking about the NHL lockout. Goddamn hockey. Quickly removing his watch, Jamie squats in front of me and grabs my untethered leg. It wasn't turned on when they tasered me, but it's been on since I woke up, he whispers, taking off my running shoe and sliding the stretch watch band up my ankle. There should be enough of a charge still. My laces are loose enough for him to slip my shoe back on my foot. If there's a chance for you to leave with them, you take it. He rises and locks eyes with me. No matter what, Donis. Understood? I'm too scared to even nod. A faint light is barely visible through the grimy window as they reach the trailer. Doesn't matter, Mike says. Whoever makes the first offer has the weaker position. Nuh-uh. Levi sounds like he's 10 years old. Wood clunks against wood. Someone fumbles with a lock. Levi comes in first. Never making eye contact, he sets a camp lantern on the table and retrieves the plastic bucket that serves as a piss pot. Levi heads to the door with it, stepping aside when Mike enters with one section of log. "Hey, lovebirds," Mike says with a toothy smile. "We interrupt anything?" I expect Stormy to waltz in, making his usual bow chicka wow wow noises, but he doesn't. Must be on goon duty, standing guard outside. Figures. Mike opens the door of the stove and pushes the thick cylinder of wood atop whatever pieces are still going strong. Levi returns, setting the bucket next to an angled line of dark tape across the floor. A parallel line of tape is several feet away. Boundary lines marking the reach of the chains. One line for our feet, the other for our grasp. The bucket, table, and window are within the caution zone. Beyond it, the wood stove, the trailer door, and freedom. Mike takes off his puffer vest and hangs it on a hook by the door. He stands behind the table, leaning casually against the trailer wall with an amused expression. I stare at Levi, but my brother still won't look at me. Instead, he removes his backpack and pulls out a roll of paper towels before dumping the rest of the contents on the table. Bottled water, sports drinks, and protein bars scatter. My thirst springs to life when a rogue bottle of water rolls off the table to join us by the bed. Jamie drops the bottle when picking it up. He hands it to me after grabbing a second time. I chug half before offering him the rest. He motions for me to finish it. Cold water sloshes noisily in my empty stomach. "Your reward for being so nice to Donnie defense." Mike tosses the water to Jamie, who fumbles that bottle as well. "Good thing you're not playing football." I grit my teeth. Let's see how you guys like Donnie offense. "What's going on, Levi?" I demand. "We need your help," he says, finally meeting my eyes. Jamie reaches for my hand. Now is not the time for him to get mushy with a triple squeeze. He stops at 2. His code from Shagala. 2 squeezes meant, keep going. "We who?" I say. "You and the guys? Your mom who drugged me? Who all is we?" Levi shakes his head. "Forget about everyone else. I need your help." "This is how you ask for help?" I shake my leg iron. "Did you buy these shackles at Home Depot or Ace Hardware?" "We found them in a shack. Figured those Al Capone stories were true." "So you're a wannabe gangster?" I repeat my first question. "What's going on, Levi?" "A business opportunity." "A what?" I bellow. Jamie's hand pumps mine once, like a shock. Shagala squeeze code. Stop. I serve it back with more force. "No, you stop." "Just hear me out." Levi's Adam's apple bobs with the gulp he takes before continuing. "I tried bringing it up that day at Chimakwa when I punched the asshole who insulted you." "You did?" My surprise is genuine. "Yeah, I asked if you were going to stay in the Sioux because you were dating him." He half nods at Jamie. "If me and you could go into business together someday." The day I asked Levi to look for Dad's scarf. The scarf he later lied about not having. "What kind of business has you doing this bullshit?" I shake my leg again for the sound effect, because I thought you meant like, buy a house to rent to college students. The double squeeze from Jamie means I'm back on track. "Here's the thing. Levi starts his team captain pep talk this way. Sometimes I'd wait in the hallway outside your uncle's classroom before hockey practice. You were out there just lurking in the hall like a creeper. Levi came by once in a while to mooch snacks for him and the guys, but I always assumed he just strolled right in." Levi shrugs and continues. "He'd ask you about chemicals. What would happen if you mixed this with that? You'd think out loud till you figured out if it was poisonous or what the reaction might be." Coldness washes over me. He listened to Uncle David and me playing What Would Happen Next. "I knew you were smart, Donis," Levi says, "but hearing how your mind worked, I realized what a genius you really are." I'm surprised to see his expression filled with admiration. I hate that my first impulse is to bask in his proud smile. "Watching you two dance around this shit is excruciating." Mike cuts in, moving closer. Jamie's firm grip pulls me a half step backward. His adrenaline flows through our joined hands to flood my system, too. Here's the thing, Mike mimics Levi's earlier lead-in. 2 years ago, I'm helping Levi and Stormy write a business plan for Coach Bobby's class. We're tossing around bullshit ideas, like franchising the naughty nickel. And Levi goes, why should big city drug dealers end up with more per cap dollars than any tribal member? He was right. If people are going to buy the stuff anyway, why not buy local? He turns to Levi. You and Stormy turned in a different plan, to put a Tim Hortons in Chimuckwa, right? Something's off, but I can't pinpoint it. The stuff Dana put in my tea. It's as if I'm 2 seconds behind every play on the ice. How about you tell the next part, about Travis? Mike says, grabbing a folding chair to sit just inside the caution zone. He doesn't offer the other one to my brother. As Levi opens his mouth to speak, my own thoughts whisper from some other place. This is it. How it happened, how we all ended up in this trailer. Travis's ma dated some guy from Las Vegas who got hired in the VIP room at the casino. He made serious bank and tips and spent a lot of it on Angie, even got her a new ride. I tried to identify what's different about Levi. He seems younger, somehow. Turns out, high-stakes poker wasn't the only thing Vegas dude was dealing, Levi says. He got her to switch from vodka to meth. Angie could party all night with no hangover. Lost weight, too. She gave free samples of go-go juice to her res friends. It's his breezy use of meth lingo that pisses me off. How can... I start to lay into him, but Jamie's hand pulses for me to stop. His thoughts are inside my head as well. Don't get riled. Just let them talk. Levi continues. Travis wasn't playing in a league anymore, so he'd hang out at the old city rink looking for a pickup game. He never said whether the Vegas dude gave him a free sample or he helped himself to it. Travis told us meth wasn't a big deal. Just made him skate faster, gave him stamina to play for hours. My brother leaves out his own role and why Travis wasn't on any league team. Mike jumps in, tag team storytelling like the guys always do. Vegas dude starts knocking Angie around for not meeting her sales quotas. As long as he did it on the res, tribal police couldn't touch his non-native ass. But they could harass him, and the casino could fire him. My dad says the tribe gets rid of troublemakers during the 1-year new employee probation period. They don't have to give a reason, and the fired person can't appeal it. Mike gleefully adds, someone gave Vegas dude a free sample of advice to get the hell out of town. Travis could help Angie with the business, Levi says. He wanted to, Donis. No one twisted his arm. He was smart and figured out how to make meth even better than Vegas dude. Their only problem was in scaling up production. All we did was invest in a growing business. That's all they say they did, but Levi doesn't know that I know he did way more than invest. And he wasn't a mule forced to do it. Levi was a distributor, risking his hockey career. What would you do if you could get away with anything? If you grew up getting special treatment? If you had a friend like Travis to take the fall for a big mistake? Mike tag teams back into the story. Travis became his own best customer. He started adding psychedelic mushrooms to batches of meth. And last Christmas, when he was crying over Lily, he experimented with all kinds of wild stuff in the product. My breath catches at hearing her name. Levi tried experimenting with the meth, but it's the one thing your brother actually sucks at. Mike shoots him a look of annoyance. The hair prickles at the back of my neck. Well, 2 things, he continues. Levi couldn't pitch a simple business plan to his sister last winter when it would have prevented all the fuck-ups that happened since then. My brother doesn't tell Mike to fuck off. He just stands there and takes it. There's a lilt to Mike's voice now. If you would have been part of our team, Donnie, we could have gotten help for Travis. Lily would still be alive. Don't talk about her, I snap, but my heart is in my throat. It's true. I could have saved her. If only, don't fall for it, Donis. Jamie is inside my head again. The scientist part of my brain steps in. I think back to all the times Levi had an idea and Mike provided a key suggestion and a sequenced plan. Sometimes a chemical is harmless in one form, but becomes toxic under specific conditions. Mike is a catalyst. When Mike kissed me, one of the excuses I gave was that my brother wouldn't like it. Believe me when I tell you, I'm not afraid of Levi. Levi may be team captain on the ice, but in this trailer, Mike Edwards is in charge. You're the brains. I hiss at Mike, the goalie who can always anticipate where the puck is headed. Jamie squeezes my hand. Stop. Oh, Donnie, it's hard being the smartest person in the room. Mike rises. I thought you and I had that in common. Turns out, my dad was right. He imitates Grant. Winners outthink the losers. Winners see opportunities the losers notice in the rearview mirror. I used to think my dad was full of shit, but Tenacious G outthinks everyone. He always plays the long game. A look passes between Mike and Levi. My brother exits, casting a worried look behind his shoulder, and I brace myself for the finale he didn't want to witness. Now I've got a story for you, Firekeeper's daughter, Mike says. Once upon a time, there was a smart princess who fell in love with the new guy in town. The prince that her brother encouraged to date his sister. She was presented with an opportunity to help her brother. A choice to make. To help or not to help. To save the prince or be responsible for a tragic ending. Mike yawns while casually stretching his arms above his head. We'll be back tomorrow for your answer. For Jamie's sake, I hope you go with happily ever after. Mike walks to the door and reaches for the doorknob. He turns to tell us one last thing. A shudder runs through me. My sweaty hand is still intertwined with Jamie's. I never thought I'd want to be like my old man. Turns out, all of his lectures and lessons taught me how important it is to set a goal and do whatever it takes to see it through. Mike turns the doorknob. My dad can be extremely persistent when he wants something. He smiles. But you know all about that, don't you, Donnie Defense? My chest tightens. Mike knows what his dad did to me. Chapter 47. I can't breathe. The trailer is too hot. I blink to find myself sitting on the bed. Jamie presses something damp and cool against my forehead. I need to know what it is, as if this one fact will provide comfort. The handkerchief from his suit jacket pocket. You're okay, Donis. They're gone. I'm here with you. You're safe. His voice is soothing, but I get stuck on his last word. Safe. My dad can be extremely persistent when he wants something, but you know all about that, don't you? Jamie saw my frantic kicks and air punches last night. He tried alerting Ron that something was wrong. I wait for him to repeat his question from the overlook. What happened to you? He doesn't. I think Jamie is starting to figure it out. I watch for a recriminating glance, a tisk-tisk, a lecture. It doesn't come. A trickle of sweat runs the length of my back. It's a sauna inside the trailer. Jamie gives me a sports drink and pats my forehead again. I take a few sips before offering it to him. He peels the wrapper of a protein bar like a banana before handing it to me. My stomach growls as I devour it. Chain smoker style, he unpeels another bar while I chew my last bite of the first one. Let's have you turn off the tracker on the watch to save the battery, okay? He motions toward my ankle. It's the knob on the side. You push it in to power down the tracker, so it's just an ordinary watch. I reach down and push the knob in. We know the guys will return for you. They need you wherever their lab is set up. We have to hope that it's off the island or at least somewhere a signal could be detected. As soon as you're away from these rocks, pull the knob out and turn the tracker back on, okay? I look at this person, backlit by a lantern and dancing orange lights kneeling in front of me. What do I actually know about him? He is 22. He has strands of copper hidden in his curly brown hair. His deepest laughter tugs at the bottom of his scar. He was a pairs figure skater before he switched to hockey. He pinches the bridge of his nose when frustrated. He doesn't know his tribe or clan. His fingertips are as soft as a whisper against my skin. He takes the black olives off his pizza. He kisses with confidence, No holding back. His eyes look ordinary from a distance, but up close, they are glorious. He was abandoned before. He always drives the speed limit. He speaks French and Spanish. He thought he was going to die when they cut his face. He prayed to Creator when he felt for Lily's pulse at her carotid artery, prayed to find it. He wants to belong to something bigger than himself. He is stronger than he appears. He loves me. And finally, when he agreed to this undercover assignment, he never envisioned any of this happening. Unable to keep my eyelids open, I lie down on the mattress with my back pressed against the wall. The cool metal against my shirt keeps me from dripping with sweat like Jamie. My hands shake with the tiniest of tremors, a side effect of the Rohypnol, their plan, or both. I drift off to the sound of gentle waves stroking the shore somewhere on Sugar Island. Orange lights move against the walls. Only it's not a trailer anymore. It's a rib cage illuminated with orange stripes. I'm not just inside the tiger. I am the tiger. I crouch low, unseen, watching 3 boys. My eyes never leave them until a beautiful black jaguar, Panthera onca, glides past. He's not supposed to be this far north. It's not his territory. He doesn't see the threat until they circle him. An owl hoots in the distance. Something slithers nearby. I remain hidden. No one ever needs to know I am here. They transform. 3 boys become a creature with Levi's face, spiky blonde hair, a concave chest, and 6 muscular arms, which extend like rubber. Jamie, in a black suit, stands where the panther was. The creature's punches are like machine gun fire. Jamie's white shirt rips to reveal abdominal muscles already forming purple bruises. The only sounds are the cracking of his ribs as he tries to catch his breath. Ron shouts from a distance, "I can't find him, Donis." I leap from my safe spot, already tasting the creature's warm blood in my throat, but I'm jerked back and hit the ground with an oof. My ankle is tethered to an old bed. The creature transforms into 3 guys I no longer recognize. I roar at each one. The first won't meet my eyes. The second fades as if he was never there. The third smiles, revealing teeth that are much sharper than mine. Jamie falls to the ground face first, rolling over to frantically swing and kick at the air. I listen for breath sounds, but there aren't any. His movements slow until his arms and legs go still. I cannot reach him. Jamie will die believing I abandoned him. Hot breath on my neck turns me into a frozen statue of a tiger, petrified as a snake slithers up my leg. I wake up, heart racing, with my forehead and palms pressed against the cool wall. I'm scared. I want my mom. I gotta get out of here. I turned over in the night, but Jamie didn't. His arm found my waist, and his face is buried in my hair. Each time he exhales, his breath seeps through the tangled mess to tickle my neck. I know Jamie's breath is not Grant's, but rational fears are still terrifying. As I climb over Jamie, my full bladder shifts uncomfortably. It's not my first time using a piss pot. Super rustic cabins and hunting camps in the UP don't have running water. A bucket outside the front door means no trip to a spider-filled outhouse in the middle of the night. After finishing, I sit on the floor at the center of the closest masking tape line, staring at the wood stove. I wrap my arms around my knees, pulled up to my chest. The only sounds are the gentle waves beyond the trailer and the sizzling pop of one sizable log in the stove. Wood isn't solid. It's made of cellulose, which transforms during combustion into a gas. The gas builds up until it breaks through the cell wall at its most vulnerable spot. That's all the popping is, pressure finding a weakness. I try to shake off the bad dream by organizing my thoughts. What I know. 1. The guys, Grant and Angie Flint, are responsible for the meth. 2. Dana drugged me and had me brought here. 3. They're using Jamie as incentive for me to cook meth for them. 4. There is no way they will let Jamie go. 5. Levi is the weakest link. What I don't know. 1. What is Mom doing right now? 2. Did Levi have anything to do with Uncle David's death? 3. What is the extent of Dana's involvement? 4. How were Heather and Robin mixed up in this? Were their deaths accidental or intentional? 5. What does Mike have planned for Jamie? 6. How far would Stormy's inner goon go without any limits? 7. How do I stop loving the brother I don't recognize anymore? I sit until the trailer lightens with Zagasekwe's song, Beginning a New Day. Rising, I stretch my stiff limbs. My tailbone is sore. The tiredness behind my eyes feels permanent. At the window, I use my sleeve to rub away soot to stare at a wall of darkness just beyond. Metamorphosed igneous peridotite. We are in a trailer hidden in black rock. East side, Jamie says from the bed. Not a question at all. He gets up to pee in the bucket before returning to bed. Bone weary already, and the day is only minutes old. I heard waves and pops in my trance bubble, but no snoring. Jamie was awake the entire time as well. Jamie's in the spot I had last night, his back against the wall. He pats the bed in front of him for me to join him. Let's sleep for a bit. They won't be back for a while, and we're too exhausted to think straight. We can come up with a strategy when we're less fuzzy, he says. I lie on my back next to Jamie and stare at the curved aluminum ceiling. It's comfortable in the trailer, not too hot or too cold. It will cool off steadily, though, as the fire dies down through the day. At some point, Jamie will try to cuddle for warmth. You need to face the wall, I say. His eyebrow rises, but he rolls over. The trailer lightens with the only sun that's likely to reach us. I say a silent prayer to Creator for Zungadewin. Today is a day for courage. Would it be okay for me to put my arm around you? I ask. Of course, he says. I turn toward Jamie and drape my arm over him. I like the feel of his body next to me this way. It calms me to know I'm not alone. I take a deep breath. You can't put your arm around me like this because... Jamie tenses. I pause, then continue slowly. Because Grant Edwards held me down from behind when he attacked me last night in his hotel room. I went with him because he said he had a security video of me snooping around his home office from that Sunday night we were at their house. Jamie doesn't say anything for what feels like an hour. You're gonna leave here today, he says finally. The tracker will lead Ron to you. Tell him everything. He's a good agent. The FBI will take it from there. They'll get Grant Edwards, and you can put this behind you, Donis. You're gonna be okay. I don't know whether I believe him or just want to so badly, but I finally relax. He rests his hand on top of mine in front of him. His thumb strokes the soft pad between my thumb and index finger with the same rhythm as the waves from Lake George. We wake up at the same time as the voices approach the trailer. Both of us scramble to stand next to the bed. We each reach for the other's hand at the same time. I'm lightheaded from standing too rapidly and my heartbeat racing in fear. I'll agree to whatever they say, I whisper. I'll tell Ron everything as soon as he finds me. We will come back for you. Jamie gulps the air as if he's about to dive into the deepest pool. I love you, he says quickly. No matter what happens, Donis, I love you. If everything goes bad, save yourself and get away from here. My lips are at his ear now. Trust me, Levi is the weakest link. Someone fumbles with the lock. I don't know why the truth matters now, only that it does. I love you, Oji Shingwe.